Shall we keep going then? Did you forget already? Miss Ting-Yun is going back to the Alliance, so we're...
I'm not too familiar with this planet. I'm worried an unscrupulous cutthroat merchant will try to take advantage of me. Luckily, the people I want to buy these gifts for are friends you already know on the Xianzhou. So I'll be counting on both your stakeholder intuitions for recommendations.
As if a merchant could seriously take advantage of you.
I already picked up a few gifts earlier, so that means there's only 3 more left to go. But we've already lost a lot of time, so we better not drag our feet.
Welcome. How can I help you?
Hello there. It's my first time visiting the Dreamscape, so I wanted to buy some local specialties as souvenirs for my friends back home. My 2 friends here are more familiar with the Dreamscape and recommended your shop, so I'm here to take a look.
Why, you really know how to flatter. Go ahead, browse all you like.
First we have Lady Fu Xuan of the Divination Commission. What do you think best suits her? Lady Fu Xuan has such refined taste. The Xianzhou really has changed a lot in the time I've been asleep. Let's go with your suggestion. Next is General Jing Yuan.
Seriously?
Now that the Alliance has all of you there to help them, sending any elite fighters more would just be overkill. Come to Clock Studios theme park to learn more about the history of the planet of festivities. I think the General will like this gift. Finally, we have Lady Bailu of the Alchemy Commission. She loves excitement. That's a good idea. It might be commonplace, but it's still the specialty of Penacony. It would make for an ideal gift to bring home. That's all of them. Please wrap them up for me. Thanks to both your help, everything went smoother than I expected. And it looks like we still have some time to spare.
Why don't we pay another visit to the Dreamscape sales store? You can find memory bubbles pretty much anywhere, but Penacony's dream bubbles are extraordinary. Even if we don't get them as gifts, we can keep them as souvenirs for ourselves.
A souvenir for myself? That's definitely an idea I can get behind. But there's one more thing I wish to do. Since this is our last stop, could I have a word with you two in private? Perhaps somewhere more secluded. I'd like to discuss a personal matter.
Everything you want, we have it all.
This is a good spot.
Miss Ting-Yun, What's this about?
You've looked out for me during our travels together these past few days. I'm truly grateful and can't thank you enough. But there are some things I find difficult to forget. I feel it's only right that I tell you what's on my mind before we part ways. Do you two still remember what it was like when you first saw me?
How could we forget? She was so shocked. She was frozen in place when she shouted.
Exactly. And that's precisely why I haven't been able to shake off this strange feeling in the days since I started traveling with you. When I asked for your names, I couldn't help but think that this first encounter was actually a long-awaited reunion for you. I've heard about what happened to you on the Xianzhou. And I've got to admit that Fantilia's disguise was so perfect, it was like another me tricking everyone.
Yeah, we couldn't even tell when you were replaced by Fantilia. I figured it happened when we were after Kafka. You vanished for a while. I thought you must have come back as a double.
But it was much earlier than that. That thought has me filled with sorrow. As if a piece of my life had been stolen away, and I had no part in it. That's what I've been puzzled about, too. I never actually saw how Fantilia managed to disguise herself as me. What was your impression of that Tingyun, if you recall? That's just the nature of the Foxians. It's widely known that mystery is the key to our allure. So, what did she seem like to you? Oh, is that a compliment? I'm not sure if I'm deserving of that title. Was there anything particularly memorable?
Hey, no tattling!
Now the final question. In your eyes, am I just like the Tingyun you remember?
Wait, don't you find that question a bit weird? You're the real Tingyun. Why compare yourself to an imposter?
Oh, Miss March, you might have the wrong idea. I'm just feeling a mix of regret and relief.
Uh-huh.
As a merchant, staying well-informed is crucial. It's only natural for me to stay updated on the events of the Lawfu before I return. If I had rushed in and out back then, I wouldn't have been much help. Instead, I would have postponed the trip and sought assistance from allies, but in that case...
We wouldn't have crossed paths.
Exactly. Based on your description, that Lord Ravager was indeed cunning. Her demeanor mirrored mine so closely that it felt like she was living my life for a few days, rather than merely disguising herself. I regret missing out on your Sanjo journey. But everything that unfolded afterward, aside from the scheming, played out exactly as if I'd been there. This leads me to consider another possibility. Phantilia had stolen a piece of my life, and a Foxian always gets even. I will not be taken advantage of. I must take something back from her as well. But after thinking it over, the only thing that could be considered equal value is the bond I have with all of you. That thought has brought me great comfort. And now I know how to speak to you properly. We've never even met before, and here you are, offering your help, just as before. I should have treated you with respect, but fear of Phantilia made me act like somebody else. And now, I will reclaim everything I have lost. And it should begin with a proper acknowledgement. Dear benefactors, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to you. Looks like we're off to a good start. Moving forward, I'll definitely be trying more things like this from now on. And you, my dear benefactors, will be my source of courage.
Miss Ting-Yoon, that's way too over the top. Just don't make any risky decisions. It might overwhelm her.
We'll see. I just hope the Ting-Yoon in your memories won't be tainted by Phantilia anymore. All right, no more questions. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. Let's continue on our way.
Huh?
A dream about eons? Welcome to the Dreamscape Sales Store. Dr. Edwin at your service.
We're looking for some dreams to give as gifts. Something exotic and preferably captivating.
Just a friendly reminder, being too picky won't help you find the best dream. That being said, there are always some luck. The story unfolds in the Shinjo Alliance, where a young swordmaster strives to become the sword champion.
Why does that sound oddly familiar?
Since I'm returning to the Xianzhou, I think it's better to choose something unrelated to the Alliance.
I love customers like you. So
So easy to take advantage of, you mean? Just don't pick anything weird, okay?
Oh, speaking of dreamscapes, I have a gift for you, my benefactors. After troubling you all this time, I couldn't leave without properly expressing my thanks.
Wow. That's really nice of you.
here are the dream bubbles I prepared for you. Thank you for your business.
Well, it looks like everything's finally in order.
Trailblazers from the Astral Express. Oh, please excuse me. You must be here to experience those dream bubbles. However, these veteran gamers call this type of dream a thrill. Luckily, I just so happen to be an excellent doctor. Oh, yes. I nearly forgot.
The nature of this memory is special. Don't ruin the dreamscape experience for anyone else by spoiling. estimation, there is no question about it. This is murder.
Murder. Such a foreign word to us. In a dream, even if you're bashed 1,000 times with a hammer, at worst, you'll still wake up in reality in a hotel.
Not necessarily. Even if the result does not constitute harm, the criminal intent is clear enough. You're
not...
Convince them in the blink of an eye that we're some kind of detectives.
Just some suggestions at the memory level. If something happens in everybody's memory, then that something becomes a fact, rather than hearing endless explanations. Would you like...
No, no, no! Hey, you can save that for the enemy.
Then, on to the next order of business. Let's discuss your companion, shall we?
Memo Keeper of the Garden of Recollection. You stole a glance at me when you first entered the hotel. My dear, do you have a crush on me? I left a puzzle for you near OT Mall. Solve it? Don't leave me waiting, my dear.
There's actually more than one Memo Keeper who's come to Penacony. She's mixed me up with someone else. The address that the mask gave you is right here. But such a direct act of provocation is enough to get my competitive side worked up too.
Madam, forgive me. I had no idea about anything she said. I'm just a friend, helping her deliver a letter. That's all.
What a frightened look you have.
Oh. Seems like I can't escape being an assistant detective.
If there's anything you'd like to know, please ask away.
Who was the victim?
An IPC employee named Shamari. Eyewitnesses reported that a tall, strong man wearing a large robe with long... Shamari collapsed on the spot and woke up from the dream.
Ooh, that sounds just like Sparkle.
Who are those two little guys?
Seems like the assailants stole the troop from elsewhere and deliberately placed them here. Those two have clammed up. I wonder if you two could help pry open their mouths.
Looks like a puzzle that Sparkle has left behind for you.
Any leads yet?
This is a developing case, so there aren't many clues yet. They didn't even take the weapon with them.
Where's Mr. Shamari right now? I'd like to meet him.
I'm afraid you can't. The Oaks came forward and calmed him down. Best not to bother him.
Oh, I'm afraid by the time we find him...
Looks like we'll have to play this little game of sparkles then.
Lady Black Swan, you're here! I'm the constable, and this here assisting me is the bailiff for... Mr. Coldfeet, why'd you do it?
So they can talk after all. Miss Black Swan...
Don't interrupt, I wasn't talking to you.
The Sparkle murder case?
You're wrong, Lady Black Swan. The victim is...
Oh, I guess Miss Sparkle has written herself in...
Never heard of it. Sounds made up.
Miss Sparkle was supposed to receive 3 valiant warriors, and the Miss Sparkle had been smashed over the head by a...
My investigations discovered that the 3 warriors were supposed to escort supplies back to their territory the day before. They narrowly escaped and barely got away with their lives.
So the 3 of them teamed up to kill her.
Huh?
Is the case closed?
No, there can only be one murderer.
If you can't justify it, don't bother.
Got it! Those 3 were all vying against each other to be number...
That actually doesn't make much sense.
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan.
I've got the case file right here. If you want to learn more about the suspects, talk to me. Lady Black Swan, allow me to introduce the 3 suspects to you. Lifton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed while he was valiantly fighting off the Annihilation Gang. He's now learning how to write and hold a fork with his left hand. How then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. Last of all comes Right. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies.
Hang on, I'm confused here. Left on?
What? Where did you get that idea from?
That won't be necessary. I've memorized every detail.
No wonder you're a memo keeper.
Look, an ID card. Talent Motivation Department, Shamari.
Mr. Shamari's belongings should have disappeared alongside him as he woke from the dreamscape.
Holy moly! This hammer is super heavy!
Miss Sparkle also used it to attack Mr. Shamari.
I'm barely able to lift this using both hands. I have no idea how Sparkle could ever use this to hit a target. Is that all the evidence? Oh, you scared me! When did you pop out?
The two pieces of evidence that you found are related to the attack on Shamari. But there are still some other clues that were...
Isn't that a bit
No. It's disruptive to have a stack of your...
Seems quite nice of her, if you ask.
Looks like Miss Sparkle is adding a little spice to the investigation. What's this little device here for? Could you please let me know? It looks like a little button.
Don't push it, Lady Black Swan. Whatever you do, don't push it! That's the mutually assured destruction button that Miss Sparkle installed. Once pushed, Miss Sparkle and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke! Miss Sparkle also has her own button. The second she pushes hit, you and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke!
That sounds like both buttons can do the exact same thing.
Correct! Exactly the same.
Oh,
Aren't you going to ask me why?
okay. Why?
Because she is fair.
This is nuts!
This notice seems like a hint for us from Miss Sparkle.
That sounded like a story from ancient times. And why did the facial recognition system suddenly go out?
This is so her style, isn't it?
What's this? A plush toy?
Regardless of why it's designed to look like the conductor aboard the Astral Express, this doll, is it connected to the case?
Have you ever heard of something called a red herring in detective stories? It's a fake clue that leads you down the wrong path.
I see. But when it's so obvious, doesn't that defeat the purpose?
That's just in case you didn't realize the ingenuity of Miss Sparkle and were worried about her throwing out a random, useless clue.
I see. Thank you.
You don't have to play along that hard, you know.
Doesn't look like there are any more clues. Let's head back to the crime scene.
Next, should we pin down the identity of the perpetrator? This evidence, I've been staring at it all day, but there's nothing that can identify the perp. Lefton, that guy lost his hand. Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right? I remember this one best. Wright has a broken leg.
Why don't we flip the question and start by asking who couldn't be the murderer? After all, there are only 3 suspects, so elimination could be a valid method.
If you put it like that, then do you already have someone in mind? Tell me, come on.
Discard your worthless destiny. Memories seem to be different again.
who exactly is the murderer? Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right? So, who exactly is the murderer? Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured? So, Lefton, that guy...
Based on the bailiff's statement, Lefton's dominant hand was seriously injured to the point where he had to learn how to live using only his left hand. Lefton's suspicion level can be downgraded.
So, who exactly is the murderer? I remember this one best. Wright has a broken leg. So, remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff?
Poor guy. He was seriously injured and was all wrapped up in... That would suggest that Zhongshan is not the murderer.
By process of elimination, it seems that only Wright could be the murderer.
Please begin your investigation, Lady...
The murderer is Wright.
You have answered correctly!
Huh? The next puzzle? I didn't sign up for this.
Looks like the key to winning lies not in the puzzle itself.
I have to remind you that Sparkle is a masked fool? Do you plan on finding logic in the mind?
That's exactly what I plan on doing. Even if right now, let's follow her train of thought and head to the next puzzle. I hope...
So why are you so focused on Sparkle's challenge? Or should I ask, are you more focused on Sparkle herself?
I told you. It's purely out of a spirit of competitiveness. And as a memo keeper, I also have to fulfill my responsibilities and harvest some interesting memories.
Get your tickets for Robin's Life in the Song concert while they're hot.
Whoa, this place is a complete mess.
Oh, Detective Black Swan and Detective Sampo.
We don't know what we'd do without your help.
Why are you talking like that?
Is there something wrong with the way we are talking?
Oh, of course not, Sheriff.
Huh. The skit this time is a modernist one.
Let's discuss this difficult case then.
Her again? Sparkle really is obsessed with scripting her own death.
Oh, for the laughter. If you undercut me one more time. Miss Sparkle came to the fashion store to buy herself a brand new After a long time, the shopkeeper went in to see what was going on. There were 3 suspects on the scene. Namely, a Pepeshi shopkeeper named Rhett, a Foxian gambler.
Our old friends.
It's not just to aid your memory.
Miss Sparkle is so gracious.
Based on surveillance footage, witness testimony, and various pieces of evidence, the killer is...
You're too lazy to be a suspect.
Oh, for the laughter! If I talk...
Detective Black Swan, the dossiers are over here. You can... Let me introduce the identities of the... First of all is the shopkeeper, right? He's one of the Pepeshi people. Next up, you have the merchant, Lefton. He wants to join up with the Penacony Trading Guild. And finally, there is the gambler, Zhongshan. He lost a bet to Miss Sparkle. That's all the information we have.
That won't be necessary. There's an accounting book lying on the ground.
On the title page is written Chen Katong.
This Chen Katong person should be Sparkle's targeted victim this time around. And there's the tie.
That skit before said that the deceased was strangled.
The tag on the tie reads, "Only for Imperial Master Lefton."
That's not how you use the word imperial. So, it's just like the first case then, only...
Miss Sparkle doesn't want to distract your investigation.
She doesn't want to distract our investigation? mechanical stool that seems quite normal. There are two...
The footprints, which are half as big as standard, must belong to a Pepeshi person.
Perhaps it's just that this... What's that smell?
Mr. Sampo.
Somebody save me from this cringe joke.
Even among the fools I know.
Have you dealt with many...
No, only a handful. After all,
This...
Open it up and take a look.
So there's a ring inside.
Because this ring was found inside the victim's mouth, we want to reconstruct the scene of the crime.
In the victim's mouth.
Hey, there's something engraved inside the ring. That should be it. Let's head out.
I have to thank you, Mr. Assistant Detective, but
Have you found out who the killer is?
just some shallow intuition. Anyway,
Oh, for the laughter! Didn't think
pretty much.
you live up to your reputation, Detective.
This guy is mixing up his birds here.
Then go ahead. Who is the killer, and what evidence do you have to prove the case?
In my opinion, there is no murderer for this case.
What do you mean by that? This evidence doesn't...
It doesn't. Looks like Miss Sparkle is more careful than I thought. It doesn't. Looks like Miss Sparkle is more careful than I thought. This tie is a piece of evidence, right?
That's right! That's the one! Miss Sparkle stole Lefton's tie to see if it would fit her. But who knew that Lefton had an anti-theft device installed? After Miss Sparkle affixed the tie to her neck, it rapidly contracted, thereby strangling the... What a tragedy! If it were...
Is something wrong here?
As you can imagine, the conclusions that the evidence points to are not mutually exclusive. Mr. Assistant Detective, please feel free to point out a suspect as the murderer.
Ah, I see. Sheriff, the murderer is Lefton.
Correct, Detective Sampo!
Sheriff, the murderer is right.
Yes! For the
Then, right from the start, there was no...
goodness me! Deputy Sheriff, is he really a...
Ugh.
Look, Miss Sparkle has given us a puzzle where every single answer is correct.
I take it so seriously! Miss Sparkle is a masked fool, not a mask anyway. Since our genius detective Black Swan
So that's it? This is just going to go on and on forever?
Hmm.
then I wish you both the best. Oh yes, if you're not in a hurry, I can tell you the answers for some of the outcomes you never chose.
Here's the Penacony
Just as you said, solving puzzles is all just a cover for something else. That girl is toying with us. What should we do now? Just keep getting led around by her?
Miss Black Swan, Mr. Sampo, you're finally here.
A murder in a locked room has left us all
As expected, another change in setting.
Yesterday, my assistant and I were visiting the famed artist Miss Sparkle, and the butler, Jean Shan, said that the door was locked from inside, so we ought not to have disturbed her.
As soon as I heard, I knew something.
The room was covered in spattered blood. Miss Sparkle's body.
Thinking quickly, I grabbed the artist canvas to staunch Miss Sparkle's blood, but...
Besides us and Zhongshan the butler, left and the cook, and Wright the driver were also...
Presumably, Miss Sparkle is now carefully arranging the next crime scene, right? Why don't you skip all this rigmarole and just have a heart-to-heart conversation with me?
Wait up! Wait up!
Honest kid. I know where you are, Miss Sparkle.
No
cheating!
Huh. Mr. Assistant Detective.
No, it's...
Let's go. Can't keep a girl waiting, can we?
Hey, Miss Black Swan, wait up! Wait up!
Ding-a-ling! Now comes the most exciting and romantic moment in any drama. The audience challenge. Everyone knows that the mighty masked fool Sparkle can change her appearance to look like others. And in this drama, the villain Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. So then, I put to you, which character is it? Also, if you're interested in the locked room case that the memo keeper ignored, you can try out your powers of deduction. I put lots into coming up with the puzzle, so don't let it go to waste. Thus, the masked genius Miss Sparkle has thrown down the gauntlet. All the clues are in motion. Happy hunting!
Miss, why didn't you just do this earlier?
Such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. But as a means to an end, I need to put this aside for a more indifferent process.
There's no weird sweet dreams troupe.
Hey! Dear Memo Keeper and Mr. Coldfeet, I didn't expect you to skip the final puzzle. That's on me. Listen up. What creature has 4 legs in the morning?
No murder case this time around?
Sometimes it's nice to take things easy.
Seeing as we're in Penacony, the
Womp womp. Wrong. The correct answer is Sparkle. When sleepy in the morning, she can't get out of bed, so naturally she's got 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night.
What the heck was that jibber-jabber?
What a cute answer.
Thanks for the compliment, my dear, but you can't...
How about I'm honored, since you're already here. Why not have a meal before you leave?
Not bad. Ill tidings manifest.
May as well kill them all. Stand still.
It's better to make no move.
Good times. Time to say bye. Boom.
Destiny isn't chosen.
Relax.
Hedge your bets. It's on me.
still. This isn't it.
Spend freely. The dice have been bust. Or maybe I'll take it all. Oh.
How about letting the enemy strike first? I'm honored by since you're already here. Why not have a meal before you leave?
Holy smokes! What's up with this guy? He just came out swinging from nowhere! Huh? No voices?
Wait. Don't move. Something's off.
Miss, you killed Sparkle! How is this possible? How can people die inside Penacony's dreamscape? In the Garden of Recollection. What did you do? You did this, didn't you? Killing people in their dreams. Oh, I understand. You refused to let me go because you wanted to drag me into all of this!
There is no death inside Penacony's dreamscape. There's no need to take such great pains. If you...
Miss Sparkle!
You. Sparkle has disguised herself as another character.
This? Don't jump to conclusions! If you want to accuse me of being Sparkle, you have to provide the evidence.
The hint for the final question was little too obvious.
Oh, you mean the locked room murder?
All the painstaking effort that Miss Sparkle put into it. The key to solving the puzzle lay in two pieces of information put forward by the detectives. Based on my shallow understanding, I can only draw two conclusions. But, based on the detective's description, this locked room did not delay the discovery of the body. That being so, the murderer seems to have no reason for creating a locked room. As for my second conclusion, it's even more obvious still. The answer is simple. It's because the assistant detective is. At the time, I was in such a hurry that I didn't hear the whole mystery. I tentatively speculated that the murderer had killed the victim the night before. And so, when he learned this piece of information, he realized that the victim had created their... That's why he had to rush to the crime scene as soon as possible. Of course, this is just a simple mind game. The answer to the puzzle isn't important, which means it's you, Mr. Sampo. I've been using this term of address, but...
Has anyone ever told you that you're more like a detective than a memo keeper?
In my opinion, there is no difference between the two. The truth does not lie. Neither do memories.
Exquisite reasoning, and very close to the truth. But I have another answer.
Another answer?
The great artiste Sparkle locked herself away in her bedroom using... was not the murder.
What a pity. Such a pity. My dear, you... Miss Sparkle's body. Sparkle was disguised as... Sparkle... Ding-a-ling! I won!
Does Miss Sparkle's body even count as a real character?
Why not? Miss Sparkle's body appeared in all three of those skits just then.
It's a little bit forced, but it's fine. So, who is this Mr. Sampo, then?
Beautiful lady. I already confessed everything to you earlier on. I really didn't know a thing.
So I've been running a fool's errand this whole time.
My dear, why so serious? Haven't you been having a great time? You take memories, and I get joy. We get what we need from each other. Seeing as we're such kindred spirits, but also such loners. Why don't you come and work with me?
Oh? Am I understanding this correctly? A math.
A show of unprecedented splendor is about to be staged in Penacony. If you're too late to take... If you want to appreciate this drama, you have to stand up under that spotlight as you take the stage and watch the dancing envelop you. Come with me. This is the best seat in the house.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on destroying Also, I don't consider you a loner. Oh, I don't mean him, but rather behind you. The one who hired you to come to Penacony probably doesn't want you secretly linking up with other forces, right?
How did you know?
Memory is like the deep blue sea. But if you try...
So, you... Memo Keeper. Did you think you could just leave?
Why not?
My dear, I don't want to scare you. You'll know the answer sooner or later. We're just getting to know each other a little today. If you ever change your mind, come find me at the tavern. That is, if you can find... Let's go, Sampo? Sampo. Who is... Sampo?
This is Bellabog, right?
I said, why not? Don't worry. Such a crude approach violates my statics of memory. So once you leave my sight, you'll be able to remember everything again. And also, I'm sorry, my dear. My dream dance partner? I've already got sights on someone else.
What a special dream this has been. Did you notice its nested structure? Being part of a play inside the dreamscape, it's as real and captivating as being in a dream within a dream.
I can't believe it's time for Miss Ting Yoon to leave. I'm not ready to say goodbye. Yeah, we got delayed on the way. Has the messenger from the Cienjo arrived yet?
Long time no see, everyone.
Madame Yukong?
I've imagined this moment many times. I was worried I might embarrass myself in front of you. I even rehearsed every word beforehand. But now it seems it was Ting Yoon, I'm here to take you home.
Madame Yukong?
I wanted to come because...
Yeah, me of all people.
Your body. It's going to be tough from now on, is...
I've already escaped death once. Also, it's not all bad. I might even beat you at arm wrestling now.
You're still the same, carefree as always. I have a lot I'd like to tell you, but even if we can't completely rid you of the pain, there must be ways.
I have no doubt. But do I really have to go back to the Lawfu?
Why? You don't want to?
Despite Fantilia's ruthlessness, she spared me. It seems as if I've become a...
There are people within the Alliance who also believe that the suspect is...
If that's the case, it's all the more reason for me not to return to the Lawfu and complicate things.
Take advantage of the situation.
Right now, the marks of ruin inside me maintain a delicate balance. Moreover, they were created, if possible. Please inform the General, and arrange for me to meet with the Marshal.
When Ron May visited the Lawfu earlier, she mentioned what happened to you. The Arbiter Generals concluded that Fantilia did not intend for you to survive. If we follow this plan, we must keep your resurrection hidden. I'll support you, no matter...
Then I'm glad. I shall...
The road ahead is perilous. If you decide to take it, I won't stop.
I've come to see myself clearly in this dream journey. There is someone who can attest to my true intentions. Please follow me. She should be around here somewhere.
Is that...
After a strange encounter, I was fragmented into multiple Tingyuns, each embodying a different aspect of my memories. And one of them hasn't returned to me, because she ventured too far.
You mean her? What is she doing?
She's captivated by something that has deeply mesmerized me. As a fleeting emotion, she's no different from a newborn. Her boarding this ship was solely down to her. Madame Yukong, do you remember? Perhaps that was just an ordinary flight for you, but that was her first experience with the...
Of course, back then, you were still young enough for me to carry.
You probably still... Just kidding.
I remember you kept begging me to take you to the star skiff.
This flight was a turning point in my life. The boundless cosmos unfolded before me. In this world, there are paths beyond waiting for us to explore. Even though I lacked the talent to pilot the star skiff and wasn't much of a warrior, even to this day,
That hasn't changed?
Never. Now I can embark once more on my journey as a traveler of no return. Speaking of which, how are things with the Whistling Flames?
I've left Yan Ming in charge for now. He's reliable, but
My principles. Forsake what others fight for, and take what others abandon. That's the way to navigate the world and achieve my goals. I will continue to uphold my principles. But now I've also learned that while these merchant principles may apply to humans...
But this shouldn't fall on your shoulders to begin with. You are simply an innocent survivor in this war.
Madame Yukong, you were once a survivor in the war too, weren't you? In a hazy dream, I vaguely remember Madame Yukong. The gods use humans as pawns in their cosmic game, sacrificing countless innocent souls. Have you ever thought about making them pay?
Every moment of every day. But as inconsequential as we are, how can we escape the fate of being mere pawns? If I could choose, I would never want you to become a pawn.
Don't be disheartened, Madame Yukong. Thanks to the favor of the Lord Ravager. Remember, it's often the unassuming pawns, the lone traveler, or the worm that's... So, now I'll become a cunning speck of dust. Sneeze a few times.
Is this place also affected?
No, I'm just here to bid, so it shouldn't matter if we add another.
How did you know she would be here?
I didn't. I had a hunch and decided to try my luck.
It's not like you to leave things to luck.
I'm trying to change too.
I don't think you need a bystander in this scenario.
You're not worried I'll take the opportunity to...
I believe you're the kind of person that has the ability... Now then, Mr. 1 Week.
I'm not leaving. No way.
Let him stay. He won't be in the way. I actually need 1 week to be there. She should...
You don't intend to reveal your true identity to her?
Both parties don't have to be aware that this is a farewell. I shouldn't put her at risk for my selfishness.
As you wish.
Shall we go then?
Let's go. Our journey can't begin if I can't take this first step. I didn't expect to see you here, Miss Robin.
It's nice to meet you, miss. May I know your name?
My name is 1 Week. I'm a member of the Nightingale family.
Oh, you're a Dreamweaver. Thank you for all your hard work. You all are the reason the Dreamscape has been able to recover from this crisis.
You're too kind, Miss Robin. You must be very busy. What brings you here to Dream's Edge?
I'm taking a break. I wanted to find a quiet place to relax. I know these stars only exist in the dream, but...
Well, perhaps the dreamscape is not so different from reality. When we look up into the night sky, the stars aren't really there. So, have we ever truly seen a real sky full of stars?
You're very philosophical, Miss 1 Week. You remind me of someone I know. Do you work nearby?
No. Today is my rest day. There's going to be a show later, so I came early to find a good seat.
A show? Here?
It's somewhere farther away. They say it's a farewell performance.
I see. In that case, the observation deck is a good choice. Distance can make some things appear more beautiful.
Miss Robin, may I stay here with you to gaze at the stars before the...
Of course. You don't have to be so courteous. I should be the one asking.
Still, these stars are unfamiliar to me.
What makes you feel this way? Is it because the sky is so far away?
Perhaps it's both. The Stellaron disaster may not have had any real consequences, but many guests still chose to check out.
You're too kind. I'll be fine. My only real regret is that I left some things unsaid.
Did the person you wanted to say them to leave?
Yes. He left in such a hurry that I didn't even get the chance to say goodbye.
Sometimes, what's in your heart doesn't need to be dressed up in words.
But don't you think we should put in some effort when we want to
If you don't mind me asking, who is it that you wish to encourage?
It's someone who experienced failure recently.
There are many such people on Penacony. I believe they all have the willpower to start anew.
But he's different. He's stronger than most ordinary people.
Are you saying that's not true?
It's not. Because before he stands up again, he'll...
Failure may be a good thing for someone like that. Being able to reflect on one's actions is a valuable quality to have.
You may be right. But I still hope that he'll never change.
Why is that?
Because I have faith in the person I remember him to be. He may have taken the wrong approach when he failed. But I don't think he had the wrong intentions. We don't have to soar into the sky together. Because I know we'll reunite one day.
I hope so.
Miss 1 week, may I ask a favor? There's a jigsaw here I'd like to finish before If I have a Dreamweaver's help, maybe I'll be able to fill in the missing pieces.
A dream jigsaw. I see. I'll do my best.
Don't worry if you can't find them.
I'm still inexperienced, so let's just hope we get lucky.
Thank you anyway. I expect the first jigsaw piece will be a part of the starry sky. As for the other piece, I hope it will
It seems we've been blessed with good fortune today.
Is this... It seems familiar.
Another Dreamweaver probably left this behind. The second jigsaw piece. Is this a pair of wings or a decoration made of feathers?
Maybe it's somewhere in between the two.
We should keep looking.
It's okay. Let's use this one. We have enough. Let's go back.
It's done. Have a look. Soon, I shall travel to those unfamiliar stars, none of which I recognize. But as long as you continue to gaze upon them from here, then those unfamiliar stars will one day be the place of our reunion.
you still couldn't bear to say goodbye in the end. Maybe I'm stronger than you think. You must try to relax on your long journey, brother.
That didn't seem like a perfect goodbye.
It's enough. I only meant to stay quietly by her side for a bit. But why did you do those unnecessary things?
What things?
Those 2 notes. If someone finds them, they can be used as evidence against her.
Huh. So you can do whatever you want as many times. I don't want to live with regret for the rest of my life either.
Live with regret.
We're almost done saying our goodbyes, right?
Yes. We only have one last stop. But before we leave, I have a question I'd like to ask you, Mr. Yang. I'm curious. Why did you become a Nameless?
Why the sudden interest?
I always had a feeling that you would never give up on someone who needed help. After spending time with you, I'm even more convinced of this assessment. At this very moment, there are countless worlds above the skies still waiting for the arrival of the Astral Express. To trailblaze means to forge ahead. Yet, you stop and spend precious time on people just...
That's not what I think at all.
And because of that, he bid farewell to the Express and never...
Not all journeys lead to the stars. Even if you can think of it this way. The title of Nameless doesn't belong to any one. The goal of my trailblazing is not the unknown world, but every living being who exists. In my homeland, the name Welt means world. It suggests that each person is a world unto themselves. This is my way of the trailblaze, and
why me?
Like I said before, I left my home in a hurry too. I also know that a person will only be able to truly face themselves once they've decided to say goodbye. There was never a third person with us, was there?
I told you he'd find out.
I should have known nothing could escape your keen eyes. Since you already know one week's secret, there's no need for me to build up suspense. Let's go. We'll head straight for the finale and take our final bow in this farewell performance.
I know you can hide your appearance, but trespassing on restrict...
Don't worry. I won't take too much time. I was a child when I first visited the Grand Theater. I remember seeing the light behind the curtains from here. When I returned here many years later as the head of the Oak family.
Now that you've returned to the stage, what are you planning to do?
Prepare for my departure. I've always believed that a person's starting point should also be his last stop. Have you ever seen the elderly at the end of their lives? As they welcome their final moments, they invite humanity, flaps their wings twice as they complete their journey. One. I will say goodbye. Here. To the me of yesterday. I really hate this face. My expressions feel so dull and lifeless.
I see. That explains why something always felt off about your appearance. The halo above your head that symbolizes the harmony, it's been missing since the moment we reunited.
It's true that this ring was bestowed upon our people by the heavens. But that doesn't mean it can't be thrown away. While I was in the gallery of thoughts, at the entrance of the dream, I chose to completely sever the halo from myself.
Why?
I am a fugitive, after all. I must remove any chance of being detected by the family. Another reason is... this is how I can cast aside all the blessings of the harmony and the order, and... for the first time...
Is that also how Mr. One Week came into this world?
No. You wouldn't believe the real story even if he told you. He was born from an accident. One that you're actually quite familiar with. It was that try not to laugh challenge. I was roaming around as an ordinary person when I unfortunately fell into that Pepeshi's trap. The prank that fragmented Miss Ting-Yun also...
Are you saying that he's a part of you? That's quite surprising given that...
You could say he's another possibility of me. I too was once a child, with aspirations buried deep within. Maybe if I had made a small change in my childhood. But what a pity. Failing to become a better version of yourself. So, my final farewell will be like that of Miss Ting-Yun. And this also means that 1 week will vanish for good. That's why Is there a possibility that you will be the one who disappears? No. This is a foregone conclusion. But who's to say there won't be any changes? Maybe deep down.
Regardless of the outcome, you will have a witness. I'll be waiting for you in the audience.
Much appreciated. Now, shall we begin? Anticipating this possibility, you've really changed. In the past, you wouldn't have tolerated any noise at all. I'm about to embark on an unknown journey, where it will be impossible to maintain my orderly life. I will have to navigate unexpected surprises, much like today. You're not ready at all, are you? I feel unsettled, maybe even scared. Ever since I left Penacony, I could no longer control everything. Don't flatter yourself. But isn't that how it is for most people? My fear of the unknown may be a weakness, but your presence has shown me that surprises aren't always bad. Meeting you has been a great help to me, and I'm glad to have discovered this side of myself. I also feel grateful for the opportunity to tell you this in person. I truly dislike you. What? Are you sure you didn't mean the opposite? I must admit, many of your qualities strike a chord with me. There are times when I want to joke around, freely express my thoughts, or my fondness. Then go for it, Sonny. You always talk about locking the bird in the cage, but you're the one who's trapped. Look at yourself. Besides discipline and hesitation, there's nothing else in your life. If you continue living like a slab of marble, you'll... But I won't become like you. I simply can't. I dislike people who are frivolous. It makes me uncomfortable to even emulate them. If I fail, I will still uphold my principles, such as decorum. As for the harmony, my stance remains the same. Whether it's you or the paths, if what I once doubted, then this time, my true heart will guide the tuning. I'll leave it to you. What is this? Leaving your fate entirely up to a coin flip? This isn't like you at all. Did you lose your mind after being run over by the express? Or... Failure is always the best teacher. To save more lives, you must first understand what they live for and what they die for. The best way to achieve this is through personal experience. You see? I'm already starting to make changes. Whether it's us merging or one of us disappearing, I'll leave the tuning to fate. And see if I can embrace all that I detest. Only then will I truly be able to walk among the living, in their world. But what if you can't do it? Well, that's out of my hands. It will just prove that I'm still the same person. The person who always disappoints his sister. Falling is just another name for flying. That's why I rejoice at my broken wings. Step into the mortal world to see how it truly is. And with my last breath, I'll join the weak in reaching my hands toward the sky. On the planet of festivities, it's not the gods who answer us, but I don't have much to say. When telling jokes, be sincere. Don't sweat the details, and above all, don't explain them every time. Never mind. No objections from me. This is so annoying. How did I become so dull? Well, despite everything, try not to be too hard on yourself. Planet of festivities, land of the dreams. I say goodbye to my home. Should one desire to leave the stage for good,
One must first step back onto the stage!
as expected, the trickiest thing is tuning yourself. These dissonant sounds are much too harsh.
Noisy.
It's on me.
How about letting the enemy strike first? A little more heat.
Echoes of the past need not fade away. Follow me to the stars.
I'm honored, but since you're already here, why not have a meal before you leave?
Spend freely.
Watch your head.
Stand still.
Nice like a good brew, my friend. Indulge yourselves!
Say bye to breathing. Good time. Time to say bye. Boom.
The dice have been cast. Bust. Or maybe I'll take it off.
Stand still.
In the mood for another beating? Disorderly noise! Sink into a dream.
freely. Time has come. Let it be revealed.
Is it inevitable for me?
Nice, my friend. Indulge yourself!
Good time. Time to say bye. Boom.
No dirt. How about letting the enemy strike first? More seasoned. I'm honored by your... Since you're already here, why not have a meal before...
Hedge your bets. Watch your head. The dice have been cast. Bust. Or maybe I'll take it all.
Wait for good tidings.
Relax.
It's on me.
Good times. Time to say bye. Boom.
Watch your head.
Like adding fuel to the fire.
Stand still. May as well kill them all.
On this 8th day, I grant myself departure.
Well, how should I address you now? Mr. Sunday or Mr. 1 Week?
Whichever you prefer. He's probably mocking me from inside right now. Thank you for accompanying me through all this, Mr. Yang. This farewell journey has come to an end.
What are your plans after leaving Penacony?
At this point, there's no need to hide things from you. I believe there's more to the incident involving the Stellaron on Penacony.
Are you suggesting that the Dream Master wasn't the one?
Don't worry. The Oak family was indeed behind seizing the Stellaron and resurrecting the fallen Eon during the Charmony Festival, and you've already defeated them. But Mr. Gopherwood once told me that all the Order's efforts were aimed at avoiding the same mistakes that the Harmony made. My guess is that the family from the Montour system must be involved. Unfortunately, too much time has passed to verify that. Penacony is just a small territory, and even the family heads with their authority cannot enter the sacred site of the Harmony and inquire about the true will of the Great One. In the worst-case scenario, if Sheepate turned a blind eye, how could the strong defending the weak hold up? Mr. Yang, I just want to tell you this. The Harmony has more than one side. They can be the most steadfast ally of the Astral Express, or the most fearsome enemy.
thank you for being honest with me. The efforts of the crew on Penacony were, after all this, the harmony and the preservation will keep the situation on the planet of festivities in balance. With the momentum from the Trailblaze, more forces will arrive and Penacony will become a public. Freedom is the only answer the Nameless can offer. I'm glad that Penacony needs it.
You and I both strive for a peaceful society. Even if our reason, if not for our paths, perhaps you and I wouldn't be in opposition.
Don't sell yourself short. We're not fundamentally opposed. This shared journey is my way of repaying you. You are one of my trailblazing goals.
About that, you've given me many insights as well. Humans are the measure of everything, and no one is the sole savior. Creating a paradise remains one of my lifelong ambitions. As I move forward, I realize I must build it brick by while I lack the will to trailblaze. Nor can I become a true Nameless. I admire your convictions. Perhaps what I need, more than asceticism, is knowledge. Therefore, after leaving Penacony, would you consider letting me come aboard the Astral Express and travel with you for now?
So this is why I brought him here. Mr. Sunday wants to join us on the Express. Of course, I can't make that decision alone.
I learned the most valuable lessons from my past opponents. Please, say whatever's on your mind.
Well, he's just traveling with us, not an actual member of the Express crew.
Thank you all for your forgiveness. Perhaps I'll find the answer I'm looking for on this journey. And when that day comes, until then, rest assured that...
Well, now that our business on Penacony is settled, it's... try?
No, we're still not quite there. Indeed, this is only a minor ripple that no one will ever notice. So, you must also understand, for a genius, the importance of asking questions outweighs the importance of the answers themselves. So-called magic has its own set of principles. There are no mysteries in this universe that cannot be solved. So, all-seeing presence. I ask you this. What is divinity?